Greetings, you magnificent mortals! Welcome back to Nukeshot Media for what is the final event of Nukeshot Endurance Series 5.5. It is the Super Hybrid Showdown. After the rescheduling, moving to the end of the season, will be an interesting one to close us off. We've had even more entries since we had the first sort of sign-ups. Be interesting to see who comes out on top here today. Qualifying is about to go live shortly. We hope you're looking forward to it. I am Nukeshot Zokeo as always, and this time joining me in the booth.
Oh, I was waiting for the beverage to be called out.
Oh no, it's not the beverage this time. I don't have that. Mika's here, everyone. Can we have some claps?
2 weeks in a row. For the first time in a while.
Oh, and the first voice crack of the stream. Well done. No,
Oh,
it's okay.
man.
It's okay. I gotta call you out on the banter, don't I?
And my lord.
So qualifying will be starting soon, as we've mentioned. I need to just type stuff out. It'll be 15
You know what I've
minutes.
just now noticed? That the Toyota has two, like, in the front van has two, like, AC vents? Or, if you get what I mean?
If you mean the fans on the front of the
Yeah,
air
I've
intakes,
never
yeah.
seen that.
Yeah, most cars have those to cool the radiators. It's just in the FT1 they're quite visible.
Yeah, but only on one specific part of the track.
Maybe it's just the lighting then. But here we go. Qualifying will be getting underway. It'll be 15 minutes. Oh, bit of lag.
It's qualifying time.
Here we go then. CJ pointing out indeed it is 6 Lexi and 4 Toyota, as I've got a internet quality not sufficient, it seems. Are we still live?
I'm sure.
Yeah, it seems that we are anyway. Maybe that's just a warning. I'm keeping my phone as far away as possible from the PlayStation so it isn't interrupted. It's going to be ART James, one of the Toyotas here today, car 95. That's going to be the first to set a lap. They're all currently on their out laps. Hello to John Wandering in chat. Hello to Armored Core in chat. Reunited Air Conditioning. Some position swapping a bit further around the order. I do actually have a track map up on a tablet this time around, so hopefully.
A tablet?
I know. I'm getting quite fancy out here.
Upgrades.
So I can tell you that James is making his way around Panasonic corner to go onto the start-finish straight, and it is a very long one. We're going to go on board here for a lap. I can't shut the phone down. I've got to keep track of stream comments and such. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Here we go then. James starting his lap, making his way towards TGR corner, running a bit deep onto the marbles on the outside, using a bit of that overtake mode. See how these guys use that throughout qualifying.
Wait, did they fix that you can now use it in like positions?
Yeah, well, for this particular car you can, because it's a hybrid system deploy, as opposed to an overtake mode like the Super Formulas.
Oh, I thought you meant like the overtaking. Oh, okay.
Well, that penalty that James got for track limit seems to have ended their particular run, so they let a car past who's on an outlap, I think, up ahead. That would be Ollie Polly, also known as Sailor. So we're now on board with Felix in one of the Lexi, who will be the new first to set a lap as James had to bail.
Oh my god, there's also a Playboy logo on the back window. Oh no. Oh, feelings.
I mean, we're on board with the bonnet cam anyway, for now, as he goes on to the start-finish straight. Here we see, making his way along, using that overtake mode, rating every last ounce of it. What's the time gonna be? It's a 1:28.928 to kick us off.
Oh, is Groot is also coming on. Oh no, he's on his James is on who is on actually? Oh, John Wandering is coming now. He is going to be slower than Felix at the moment, it seems.
Yep, he goes third for now. As
Rama goes fourth.
Yep.
The CJ is coming around. So I don't know what he's done.
Not
CJ, what is this?
Not a good opening lap for CJ. He probably did the same thing as James, got a corner cut penalty and had to bail for that lap.
He's been allowed.
These cars very actually tricky to control on the throttle. They're very slippery in places, as CJ is demonstrating, making his way through Coca-Cola Corner, and now through 100R. Of course you do. So it's currently Felix that is at the top of the timing charts of the 128.928. He'll be making his way around to set a new lap time. Will it be an improvement? I don't think it will quite be. I think he was just gaining back his hybrid system, so it's a case of one lap on and one lap off in order to recharge. James goes fastest for the Toyota crew. That is a 10th fastest. It's a 128.828. Good lap there by James.
So Rama now goes third.
Yep. That's a 129.036 for Arama. It looks like CJ's about to come across the line. He goes fastest of all. A 128.476 for the Mad Greek. I think that's the Joe 2 guy about across the line as well. He hasn't set a representative time. Houdini making their way into the pits after they picked up heavy damage. You're gonna have to be repairing that. Possibly fresh set of tyres indeed. Keeping the rubber fresh.
Fresh for extra stickiness on the track. There's also into the pits. With only, I can count, with less than 9 minutes to go.
Indeed. Felix doesn't improve on that particular lap. Arama making their way through the final sector. Route into the pits as well. As is James. Now, there is a difference between the two hybrid systems on these cars. The Lexus tends to have it last longer, but is less powerful, and the Toyota is the opposite. It is more powerful, but it lasts a shorter lap time.
Quickest.
Joe does indeed go quickest. That's a 128.264. So it's a Lexus 1-2 at the moment, followed by the Toyota of James. We're just about getting to the halfway mark in the session.
Half the quality gone.
And half the quality to go. Someone's moving slowly, going through the Dunlop corner. I'm not sure who that is, they might have damage. Amuda's just letting cars go by, I think, at the moment. This guy's hazards on. Getting ready for a lap. Currently sits 8th in the standings. Ahead of his teammate, John Wandering, who's on an outlap at the moment. And Houdini currently slowest of all, but are improving as they're making their way through 100R. Their best lap at the moment is a 133.543. Oh, so they run a little bit wide through there.
So Rom is coming up to the straight. He was improving the last time. He's now in P5. Climbed the ranks a little bit here at 27. He goes second with a 128.4.
And a very impressive time there by RBZ Arama on their return, splitting the two mainstays in the Nukeshot Endurance Series, Joe and CJ. Not often we see those two split. Now he's going to charge up that hybrid
In
system
different
again.
splits.
CJ going to start a new lap, it would seem, using the overtake mode to power out the corner. Now James is making their way through. They're letting a few cars go by, so they're about to start a new attempt. They're currently 4th, a 10th ahead of Felix. Still, Felix crossed the line that time, didn't improve. Looks like they're... are they on a lap now? No, it doesn't look like it. They throttle and brake at the same time. So, yep. Houdini has indeed improved from that last time that they did. They're now up to a 129.223. That puts them 7th at the moment.
The top 7 is within a second of each other.
Indeed, that is very impressive. To answer your question, air conditioning in the chat, this is the final race of 5.5, and we currently don't know when the next one will be. But
we will
again,
probably go back into hibernation and do nothing.
that is a possibility. We'll have to see.
5 with 5 comes 6.5. That's also a possibility.
5.75, you never know. CJ goes fastest of all again into the 127s, 127.996 for them. So they retake the top spot. Will Joe be able to better them? They're making their way on their outlap at the moment, so they're just timing it right. But they have burned a significant amount of fuel. This will be their make or break opportunity as we get towards the closing stages of the qualifying session.
With only less than 3 minutes ago, I'm not very much awake.
It's okay, neither am I. As Joe does go purple in Sector 1 by 0.06 of a second. Will he be able to keep it?
Firmly grasp it.
As Patrick Star once said. Emilius has a feeling that Season 6 will happen sometime this year. That's a possibility. We'll have to see. Arama doesn't improve on that occasion, stays 3rd for now. It'll be interesting to see if James is improving. They improved last time out to a 128.625, but they still stay 4th, about a 10th back from Arama. So at the moment it's Lexus, Toyota making up the top 4, followed by another Toyota in the form of Gru, as actually Houdini goes up in their Toyota, is it? No, Lexus, sorry, to a 128.
James comes across the line. Yes, he does go quicker by 0.17 of a second.
Yep, the Joe 2 guy, fastest of all, 127.825 for them, and Houdini improves up to 4th as we have a spin. That's a Muda spinning out in front of Houdini. No idea what happened there. But Houdini improved to a 128.613. That's good enough to displace 4th place from James by 12 thousandths of a second.
Oh, CJ goes purple in the 1st sector.
So CJ's not done here.
It seems Amuda and Houdini may have touched.
Unfortunate if they did. Houdini was the one that provided us footage of a qualifying incident last time, so if he does so again, that'd be useful. If there was an incident, that is. CJ, that's going to cost him. He's got a 0.5 second penalty. He's now going to have to either save fuel or call it quits. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the line from here. He's going to charge up his hybrid, but he's used a fair bit of it. He pulls off to the side of the circuit. I reckon this could be it for CJ. No, rejoins.
It's into the barrier 1 set. Oh no.
Precisely. About 1 minute left in the session. I've got to check to see where everyone is in terms of the track map, to see if everyone makes it. Felix is coming through. CJ lets by Felix. Those two had a rivalry for a while. Back in season 3. Season 2 and 3.
Oh, Rama's the last one in Turkey's just about to make it.
I shall check. Orama.
It's gonna be no. Oh, I don't think.
I don't know. It's gonna be close. Joe into the pits. I don't think Orama is gonna quite make it. There is a very long straight after this complex, and he's only got 20 seconds. We'll have to see.
No, he's not gonna make it. He's still on 1:28.4, a respectable lap. 3, 2, 1.
Yep, Orama doesn't make it. He was on an outlap as well. He misses out. Just that slight miscalculation. 3 seconds faster, and he would have made it.
CJ is still on a lap. That's the first one to cross the line now.
Yep, and they are green, but not purple, interestingly enough, as they went through Sector 1. We're about to see how they do through Sector 2. 2 tenths up on their own time.
As Groot goes fourth.
Groot goes fourth place, indeed, and Felix third, meanwhile. Felix with a 1:28.276. We're seeing many great times now in the closing of the qualifying session. James goes third with a 1:28.267. As you mentioned,
coming up to the straight now.
As you mentioned, Groot at 1:28.377, only good enough for fifth at the moment. CJ about to cross the line. Do they take it? No!
No!
19 thousandths off. 1:27.844 for CJ. It is looking like it is going to be the Joe 2 guy on pole position here for the Super Hybrid Showdown.
The top 8 is within a second.
That was a really eventful qualifying session towards the end of that.
That was.
Many improvements. So, here is the live timing. As you mentioned, was it the top 8 or top 7 that were within a second?
Top 8 now.
Okay, so there's 10 cars on circuit and 10 in the lobby, so I must save that screenshot. It's the break period now, officially. Hello to Emilius in chat. I don't think I said hello earlier when you had that question. You can do, CJ. They ought to be enforced the same as the track limits, 2 wheels within. I'll be setting the grid. So it was Joe ahead of CJ. Who managed to get third in the end of that? Was it James? There's so much that happened towards the end. Yep, it was James, then Felix. James, then Felix, then Groot. I've got here. James, Felix, Groot, and then
CJ asked if Fuji, also isn't Fuji one of the tracks we check manually for S5?
I don't think so. I think there might have been talks about it, but I think we decided not to in the end.
Hello, Nils. Oh, hey.
Indeed. Hello, Nils.
Hello there. Geralt Kenobi.
Oh dear. We've got to put up with this guy for another hour or so. Sorry about that, chat. Okay, so after Arama, it was Houdini, then Ollie, and then Amuda ahead of John Wondering. Okay. Okay. I believe that is the grid set. Let me just screenshot here. Here will be your starting grid, as you can see. Lexus, Lexus, Toyota, Lexus, Toyota, Toyota, Lexus, Toyota, Lexus, Lexus. So a good spread of cars, showing how balanced these cars actually are. Especially given that the top 8 were within a second of each other. Yeah, okay, cheers Mika for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, CJ. But the pit entry and exit lines are definitely something to check.
I'm just thinking how many times I've probably ignored those lines.
We don't speak about that.
Just crossing over them a little bit. But...
Wait, didn't you win the championship one season? That you may or may not have done that. So I should technically win the everything.
No, I didn't win a championship.
Oh, it was probably Arama that ended up winning the championship that time. I get the two Rebellion cars confused as to who won the championship or not. So Arama's actually coming into this as a champion of the past.
I couldn't compete in the last race.
Ah, fair enough. Also, that's a sick helmet.
We both couldn't, I think.
I
So
rate
it was
that
basically an automatic win. It was a very fun season.
Here is our pole sitter then, the Joe 2 guy of Teams Impact Racing, or TSR as it's known. Doing a little bit more practice. Oh dear. I don't actually know if the sponsors are watching this. They used to watch the DRL. There was a DRL series that I think Nukeshot collabed with, or at least I did commentary on, that the sponsors watched, because there was an incident I think involving Wake at the time and Fred Dude that caused a little bit of an issue in the sponsor department apparently. From what I've heard, anyway. But that was like ages ago now, so everything's water under the bridge.
Big companies are now watching. We're just there like... Whoa.
I know. If anyone here happens to be working for Sittler BMW, be sure to make sure that my CV goes through.
No. You're unemployed.
I'm well aware, okay. That's another reason why there might not be as much NES, at least for a while, is because I need to find myself a job, get my life on track again. I've been trying to find a job for well over a year now.
Doesn't want to work at a supermarket.
It's difficult, man. It's difficult. My dad.
Go work at a McDonald's.
It's high stress. High stress. I don't cope in high stress.
That's every single job you're gonna do.
There are some that are less so than others. If it's a task that I already know how to do, such as mechanics,
Who doesn't know how to flip a little burger?
Fam, what even is a kitchen?
What is stuff?
DRL has taught me to use them. The pit entry and exit lines. Funny stuff, Nils, funny stuff. Oh, that is a very fun fact, CJ.
No, I hate it.
Oh. Well then. Should we see if everyone's ready for the race?
Yeah, yes.
At Everia Wana Re-a-d-e. There you go.
Is he?
Wait, what? Hold on a second.
Where's your check?
Oh, they are.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Bother.
It's late, I'll allow it, but well done, Ollie. Anyway,
no.
Oh look at this. We've got plenty of people parked up at the moment.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Oh, you're fast. Almost. Well done. Thank you.
Okay.
Why? Ready?
I'm just
Please,
checking.
everyone wants to go to the lobby. No problem. Hold on.
Okay. Many
text to
people
speech.
saying be right back. Okay, Arama says ready. Mood's back.
Is John back? I'm a beginner.
John is in John
Nice to
Wondering or
meet
CJ?
John wondering.
John Wondering. Did he
Sure.
say?
Oh, he's back.
Okay. Okay, I believe we're ready then.
Oh, he lives in a race under the sea. Only the greatest banter on this channel.
I know, right? Subscribe if you want more.
No.
Oh, fine, CJ.
CJ, absolute sudden.
Wheeze McGee makes the return to the booth.
Oh, no.
Stream is lagging for you. I'll have a check. I'm restarting it on this end. It's it's a fair bit behind. I think it's like 15-second delay or so, as opposed to the normal 5. But it seems to be okay in terms of stability. I think.
I only left for like 20 seconds to get a Danish cookie from a tin. I thought you was going for like 4 minutes. I was like, oh no.
In fairness, the Danish do know how to make their cookies.
Fam, have you never heard of stroopwafels?
I mean, no. I live in the UK.
Oh, my chest. I'm going to die. Stroopwafels are legendary, bro.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, CJ, you dirty human.
It's running fine now. Oh, fair enough.
He said I took advantage
Oh,
to get a
come on! Okay, you're getting disqualified for manipulating the organisers. You're getting a ban for life for that.
You dirty human.
Oh dear. I need glasses. Yeah, I saw it's just because okay can mean like okay to me saying fine, or okay as in your back. Well, like. Oh,
That didn't make any sense.
Whatever, man. We're starting. I don't care anymore. Mika, get ready to talk us to the grid, Mika.
Oh no. It's race time! It's the Fuji International Speedway Short Grand Prix. In first position we have Joe, second position we have CJ, third we have James, fourth we have Felix, fifth we have Brute, sixth Arama, seventh Houdini, eighth Ollie, in ninth Amuda, and in 10th John Ronderin.
Here we go then, for the final race of Season 5.5 of the Nukeshot Endurance Series, the Super Hybrid Showdown. Green, 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 and the cars are off. Plenty of wheel spin as they fight for traction, plenty of sliding as well. Joe gets a good start, maintains the lead as they're making their way down towards turn 1. 4 wide nearly at the back. CJ goes to the inside. Manages to just about take it, do they? Still side by side actually. I think Joe might have it as he's got the inside for Coca-Cola. CJ trying to hang it around the outside. Racing room just about left. CJ still on the inside. And I think he's just about got it, but does he get a penalty for that running wide? Nope. All is fair. And James,
having had a dreadful start, he's now in 9th position behind Amuda.
Indeed. James having to fend off Felix at the moment. Mostly getting very close together. James currently the best of the Toyotas. Making their way through the uphill, tight and twisty Sector 3. As, oh! That was an interesting move. It seems like Groot has managed to get a place on Felix through this section. As Felix looks to the inside, manages to make contact.
A little
bit of onion barges. It seems that Felix does the sporting thing and lets Groot go by. That's going to allow Houdini to have a run on them though. They're moving alongside. Here we are on board with Houdini. Look at this. I think
Felix gonna have to.
He's got the slipstream. Does Felix? And I think he maintains it. He's looking to the inside to retake over. 3 wide. Felix, great move. Manages to move up to 4th place. And it looks like Houdini's going to try and make it stick as well. As meanwhile, Joe has managed to get back ahead of CJ to retake the lead. So plenty of battles up and down the order from these super hybrid cars.
Oh, down.
Houdini looking to get that cut back on Groot, seeing if he can get a little bit better traction out the corner. Can't quite get alongside. Maybe try and outbrake him as side by side between Arama and Ollie as well. Houdini looks to the outside.
Felix goes wide as Groot also goes with him. Oh, and a touch! This. I saw some cars touching. What was Ghost? Does anyone have any damage?
I'm not sure. I think Groot might have. No, he's
no
fine.
One has damage. Everyone's fine.
The carnage continues.
Arama is now up into 5th place. He's looking on the inside of Houdini, and he's now up into 4th. 5 positions in half a sector.
It seemed there was a bit of contact between Groot and Felix in the braking zone, as Felix was covering the inside. As Felix is
now looking around the outside. Arama's still there. Does Houdini go for the cutback? Can't make it work right now.
So Arama from up the order to down to 9th, did you say? All the way back up to 4th again.
Oh, as CJ's taking the lead again from Joe.
Ollie to the inside takes 5th.
James is doing fairly well to keep in eyeshot of those 2 Lexus.
Indeed, James is doing a very good job at the moment. And they've got plenty of their hybrid system as well, which is interesting for the Toyota, as we know it tends to burn through it a bit quicker.
Oh! Someone just went... I saw someone go straight. Oh, Ollie went straight and then got reset.
We're going to have to see if we can catch a replay of that. Unfortunate stuff for Ollie. There was plenty of squabbling actually throughout the order, it seems. It's almost like a touring car race. Indeed, Ollie actually catching the grass. on the run towards Dunlop, tried to rejoin, and the dust on the tyres didn't allow them to, so they had to stay off the circuit. And that's when they got reset. They got their windscreen wiper on, for whatever reason. Joe to the inside.
It's very funny. CJ doesn't hold his overtake
Oh!
button, he just presses it. He just presses it every single time.
Gets the cutback though on Joe. So good dueling between the two rivals. And James still sticking with these guys. Not in the slipstream range of Joe. Remember, that's 7.5 tenths of a second. But he is there if either of them make a mistake, or if they'd end up taking each other out.
I should put it back to...
Oh! And speaking of mistakes, the curse of the commentator, Joe! Is he going to catch the grass on the outside? That's going to drop them down to third, maybe fourth as Arama goes through to take the final step in the podium.
Rear damage and rear right damage.
I'm checking here what happened. He lost it by himself. Did he pick up the damage as he hit the wall? Yep. Oh.
I didn't know that. I was just talking. Wasn't looking at the screen. I just went, oh no!
A very costly mistake. This is what I was on about earlier. These cars, although they do have similar levels of downforce to a GT3, they tend to drive a fair bit more slippy.
Oh no! I just watched it back and said, oh, it's so unfortunate.
Oh, I know, it's very unfortunate there for the Joe 2 guys. Probably have to go to the pits. That's potentially his chance of a podium done, but we don't know. Anything can still happen. We've got F in the chat from Mills.
See, John eats stroopwafels. They're very good.
I've just realised. Did Joe just do a CJ? Technically.
Oh my god.
Never in a million years would I have thought that I saw that. Also, James has finally managed to put the hammer down. He's using not overly much of his overtake mode, but he is sticking with CJ. He seems to be doing a very good job.
He was just sneaking around, just watching everything fall apart. As Arama now into third position, basically in no man's land, so he's all the time to push.
Indeed.
As he's closing up a little bit to James, but
Indeed.
I guess he's probably fighting with CJ.
Yep. Indeed. Houdini currently finds themselves in fourth. We've got a bit of overtaking around the 8th spot between Amuda and, was that John Wandering?
I saw a bit of brake dust or tire puffs coming off somewhere.
Yep. So after that pit stop, it's dropped Joe 2 guy down to 10th place. He's got plenty of traffic to get through, plenty of work to do. Battle for the lead is around that 7/10 gap. James continuing to close in. Now, is CJ using much of his high precision? He is, actually. Although James has started using a little bit more that last time.
James he is closing up, but not.
CJ running a bit wide.
Almost CJ's it.
That might be a penalty for running wide, I'm not sure. No, the game is forgiving in this instance.
Oh, CJ's on the grass again.
He's right on the edge in order to keep James at bay. He's trying his best to break the slipstream, but it seems that the Toyota of James is staying more consistent at the moment. James has the fastest lap of 128.699.
Hey, 69.
This is a family-friendly channel, what did I tell you?
It's just my favorite number, what do you mean?
Oh, fair enough. Well, he's in the slipstream. We could be seeing a move from James. We're on board with him, making his way downtown. He sets a new fastest lap, and to the inside he goes. CJ doesn't put up much of a fight. James goes to the lead. Sparks being thrown up by the cars in the braking zone. Does CJ manage to get a cutback? He looks for it, trying to put the traction down. And James up into the lead of the race.
Very nice move there from James.
Ooh. Bit of a mistake from CJ as he tries to keep pace, as someone's actually gone off at TGR corner, turn 1.
It's Felix.
Felix has gone off. We'll have to see if we can catch this in a replay.
But it doesn't have any damage.
He was dicing with Ollie Polly. What exactly happened here then? Did he just outbrake himself? Oh! He seemed to turn in a little bit, and that might have unsettled the car.
Oh, he's left.
That was pretty much just on Felix, unfortunately, that one. Indeed, unfortunately, Felix, our first retirement of the race. I believe they're quite equal on the straights. If you're using the hybrid system fully.
Oh, CJ did a great exit from the last corner there.
Gonna see if CJ can mount a counter-attack. Rear wing cam on James's car. James holding the middle line, forcing CJ to make his move. Sparks being thrown up into the face of CJ.
CJ's going for the move here, late braking. James gives him the space, he goes for the cutback.
Can't quite find it on this occasion.
Great battling going on.
That's what you find with these super hybrid cars. Although it's not that commonly used with a category, because of that extra hybrid system, it allows for the strategy to come involved, which keeps these guys a bit closer together in battles.
Very well said. Yeah, yes.
Also, CJ is still typing in chat.
Up to 7. CJ, no.
Bad CJ.
Yeah. Bad CJ, bad. No points for you.
As you mentioned, Joe has managed to find their way up the order after making that pit stop to repair the damage. They're in 7th at the moment.
Oh, you said RQ, there's a stuff for Rage Quit.
I assume it was, and that would make sense given that he went straight off and then exited from there. So yeah, that would make sense. So unfortunately, that's going to be that license point thingamajig, whatever we do to Rage Quits on there, for Felix. I forget at this particular time. The battle for 4th is on between Houdini and Brew. Shut up, man.
Oh, as James goes on the inside again and takes the lead again on the straight.
I'm gonna have to catch that one again shortly, but Groot managing to get past Houdini, do they? On the brakes! Houdini late on the brakes, Groot a bit later. Houdini looking for the cutback. Oh, they oversteered! And that's gonna allow Groot to comfortably take 4th place. Now, let's see if we can catch what happened there. Oh, actually, they were side by side for a moment, but it seemed James had a bit of a run.
Oh, James has got a penalty, but CJ takes back his spot again.
So, it seemed that James managed to get it done on the straight that first time. CJ was good on the brakes. Not quite good enough on the exit.
James goes wide again. James having lost a bit of momentum here.
Indeed, I think the pressure's starting to get to him.
Oh, sorry.
CJ has been in this position many times before. James, perhaps in his split, remember he was the AM split champion, if I recall correctly, at one stage, so not quite as used to fighting the pro guys as CJ has been in the past, as CJ managed to get the cutback through the hairpin. Nice one. Indeed, the gap is now up to 2 seconds, and Arama seems to be gaining a bit on James in 3rd place.
James already, he's picking up his momentum again. He's slowly already gaining back on CJ here. How they're doing tire wear? They're pretty much the same. CJ's a bit more tire wear on one side. James has a bit more, a bit less. They're pretty even. Let's keep it at it.
For Arama. They went purple through sector 1. So they're showing they have the pace at this moment. Did you just notice something? Was it a bit of a slide? Oh, Arama goes very wide.
He went a bit deep now, he went wide.
So that apparently happening to both of the Toyotas.
Why does Why does Ollie have his windshield wipers on?
I have no idea. Why don't you ask him after the race?
Why do you have your windshield wipers on?
Oh,
Why?
bit of oversteer for, I believe that's Houdini, going through Dunlop. Sliding their way through. We're going to see if we can catch a replay of this. They just clipped the outside. Yep. Managed to hold on to it though. Just lost a little bit of time. That's going to allow Ollie into the slipstream quite comfortably. Oh, and definitely as they make a further mistake, as I think Houdini's going to bail for the pits here, it looks. Indeed, Houdini the first to make a scheduled pit stop. So they're looking to do a 3-stop strategy if they're pitting every 10 laps. Fueling up. In fact, the fuel isn't going to last too long for the rest of these guys, actually. As I think that was Amuda into the pits as well, and Houdini, evidently struggling on tyre wear, they've now switched to the regular soft compound from the Supers.
I think it could be a good strategy call, but
it could be a case of, if you fuel save, you might be able to do this on a 2-stop, but the fuel seems to be burning to quite an extent that 3-stop tends to be the option.
Especially for the Toyotas. Toyotas are pretty hard on fuel.
Well, you say that, we've had both of the Lexi come in before the Toyotas.
CJ's pretty good at fuel. James on a quarter, CJ's on below.
Yep, Parama's looking quite bad on fuel. Groot looking okay for now. Ollie, again, there. I think Joe must have fueled up when they picked up the damage, so they went a bit off strategy. John wondering, will either pit this time around or the next time? They've managed to actually keep those super softs in pretty good condition compared to some of these other guys that we saw pit in earlier, such as Houdini, who now goes by to retake 7th place. Hope you're enjoying the stream. If you are, be sure to leave a like on it. Helps out the channel.
Hashtag Blood Nation.
Indeed. Oh, speaking of nations, Mod Nation has apparently got some fan-made servers now come out for it. So
It's Mod Nation.
it's on PlayStation 3.
Oh, the shit. Shipe.
There's the new word.
I didn't finish it. I was like,
CJ into the pits. It looks like James is following him.
the worst PlayStation.
I enjoyed PlayStation 3. That's why I've met a lot of these guys.
Oh, Groot, what have you done? He crashed into the pits.
Oh, and he picked up rear aero damage then from doing so. Plenty of
tires are
smoke,
still smoking
actually.
in the pits.
Yeah. There seems to be a fire going off in the pits. For car 14. Are they okay?
He did a Jos Verstappen.
Here we're gonna see just how it happened on board with them on entering the pit lane. Oh, just overcooking it. And they actually did a 360 no-scope into the pit lane. It was very lucky that they didn't get reset by that. They rejoin just behind Houdini, so Houdini's actually made their way up to 5th place by pitting just that little bit sooner on the fresher tyres. Hello to D-Look in chat. He's working on a Nukeshot/Paradox preseason test video coming in a few moments. I thought that said months at first, I was going to say.
A few months.
It'd take me a few months, I'll tell you that much. Groot looking to make an overtake on Houdini. Looking to the outside, Groot does have a 0.5 second penalty for a track limit violation, but around the outside they go. Do they make it stick? Ooh! They run just off the circuit. That's going to put dust on the tyres. Will that allow Houdini to make a counter-attack? Not at the moment. Joe, meanwhile, after everyone has made their pit stops, find themselves up into second place. They might have to make one extra pit stop though, given they had to pit early to repair that damage. As Houdini's actually coming under attack from Ollie here. Going on board with the Norwegian. Not getting as much of a run because of course Houdini themselves has a bit of a slipstream. Don't think they're going to quite be able to go 3 wide here, but on the brakes they just about are. Oh, bit of squeezing, onion barges as we say. And Ollie, 2 positions in 1 corner. Flash of the lights by Groot.
Nils, it is imaginary rain on all this. Imaginary rain.
Here it was again.
What even has windshield wipers on manual?
That's a fair point. So there's a little bit of squeezing going through there.
As Joe is also now up into second already, but his tires are not as good.
Yeah, it's because he made that pit stop earlier. And we know actually Joe, this particular season, it's been highlighted that he just shreds through his tyres these days.
Shreddy boy.
Ready, shreddy, go.
Wow.
Ready, shreddy,
Wow.
Joe, more like.
No, not funny.
What do you mean? It's hilarious. Ollie can't quite break the slipstream to Groot, so Groot could have a bit of a run here.
Groot has already used up all of his overtake.
Yep.
Ollie had some left.
Indeed, he's going to have to recharge it, but Ollie's ran a bit wide. He's on the marbles. There you see. Groot not able to capitalise. As actually Ollie does have the fastest lap now, 128.465.
Oh.
You know what it's like, surprisingly enough, in terms of the fastest lap? It's almost like boost is on slightly. Like, obviously it's not, but in terms of the fastest lap count, because normally we see only like the top guys setting the fastest laps, but here we've seen James have it for a while, now Ollie's got it. It's an interesting dynamic here that's developing.
It's because of that Zurich that we're playing.
Perhaps. Perhaps blue is more plasma dynamic than I thought.
We shall never know.
Well, it's looking like Groot is going to be in a position for a very comfortable run on Ollie this time around. Going rear wing cam on the Norwegian's car. Here comes that charging Toyota of, I believe, Acapex Racing. I probably butchered the pronunciation on that. There's many Q's and U's and weirdness going off there.
I didn't even know he had a team name.
Down the inside, will it be a cutback? No, Groot covers off the inside. Very well done. Groot moves up into 5th place. Now will they be able to get a bit of a gap through these middle sectors in order to break the slipstream before that start-finish straight again? Another interesting...
them pretty decently.
Yeah, indeed. He's doing a very good job. In fact, looks to the inside, can't quite get it. Am I right in saying there's a bit of a battle going on between 2nd and 3rd as Joe's tyres are starting to wear down? James is catching up.
James is in slipstream range.
Indeed, that's another thing to watch out for then. If you're seeing a lot of sparks from these cars, more than normal, that's because their stock ride height that they can't alter is 45mm. So it puts on quite a display for the fans. That's why we can't really run these cars that well at Nürburgring, because they need the suspension height.
Just bounce.
Bounce McGee. There you
Yes,
see.
James is overtaking Joe now. Joe doesn't put up much of a fight as he knows he's on a whole different strategy.
He's still got quite a bit of fuel though, does Joe. So he could be going for a few more laps. He might get to around lap 20, I think.
So Rama going on Gio. Slightly but surely also catching Joe. Rama is quite the distance behind.
So the most competitive battle on track at the moment, now that James has gone by on the fresher tyres, seems to be between 5th, 6th and 7th. Going through 100R, now towards the hairpin.
But the Japanese have a name in the corners of their radius.
I don't know if that's done anywhere else, but it is a common thing for Japanese circuits, because there's 130R as well at Suzuka.
I know that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, dingus.
Yellow flags, we've
Yellow
got
flag.
a spin! Is that a Rama, looking at the position on track? Was it? It might well have been. Yep, they've lost time.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that was a quick spin, though.
You're gonna have to see what it was. It was through this sort of middle section. They picked up a little bit of dust on the tyres. They ran too wide, yep, on the AstroTurf. You want as wide an entry as possible through that corner. Arama just taking it a little bit too far. As we see.
Did he do a perfect 360?
I can't remember. I'm focusing on the battle between 5th and 6th now again. As Groot to the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Ollie very solid on the brakes. Oh! Kick of oversteer as they get shoved over the curb. But Groot finds their way up. Ollie looking to the inside again.
Oh,
little bit of contact again. It's getting a little bit rough between them. Little bit of onion
Wheel
barging.
banging and scraping.
Groot still in 5th. Now hopefully that's as much wheel banging as we'll see. Hopefully the tensions die down a little bit. There you see Mount Fuji in the background of our camera shot. Well done to Jack Wilkinson on that one.
Big up. Oh, I remember not known Fuji circuit is next to Mount Fuji.
Amuda's just gone off, and that puts John Wandering up a position, I just saw. So they seem to run wide at turn 1, and then on the rejoin, didn't quite get it right. They span off into the wall, and they picked up damage from that. So that's Amuda down to 9th place, John Wandering up position to 8th. Houdini has dropped back a bit from 5th and 6th, as Ollie has got back past Groot. All we need now is Duel of the Fates playing in the background, but of course, copyright music.
Oh no.
The stream is a lap behind for CJ apparently.
Yeah, it's quite behind quite far.
Yeah, sorry about that, lads. So Groot with a 0.2
Deal with it,
second penalty.
CJ. Deal with it.
CJ, you're not even meant to be typing. You're meant to just like listen to the stream if that. The gap between him and James.
Should we start
3.2.
typing in Gran Turismo chat or something?
No,
See if you like that.
no, let's not do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that bad of a person.
I can hear you typing right now, Meek.
No, I was scrolling through the the places.
Sure thing.
Do not worry. Do not worry.
Amuda goes into the pits. They're going to make this one of their stops then. They were quite low on fuel, so they might be able to get done with one more stop after this. We'll have to see. Might be cutting it a bit close. James retook the fastest lap of the race at 128.333.
Oh, CJ almost spins it.
So the pressure starting to mount on CJ, it would seem. Ooh, yes, very nice catch on the exit. Remember, he uses the motion controls for the DualShock 4, so extremely impressive. I think so. Don't type in chat telling us otherwise or anything. We're
I
fine.
remember him using it during season 4 when I joined, when I declared him for a crazy person. And I just... Does he still do that? I've tried it once. I can't do it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I assume, since that's how he's been driving all this time, that he wouldn't have changed.
Why don't buy steering wheel?
I mean, I bought a steering wheel. I still use the DualShock mainly, even though it's broken.
Yeah, I only use it when I do serious racing on ACC or something.
Here we go then, Joe. How are they looking on fuel? This is lap 20. This is when I thought they might come into the pit.
He is on red, and he is also on very, very worn tires.
Joe, we're expecting them to come into the pits indeed. Going that side of the line, looking to make their way in. Nicely done. Bit of wall scraping.
Quickness.
And the Simpact crew get to work on that Lexus. Fueling them up. Where do they rejoin? How long was that stint actually, Mika? If you could check how many laps that stint was for Joe.
Oh, it was very long. Well, looking at the lap timer, he's on... I think he crashed on like lap 8 or so. He's done well over 10 laps.
Okay, because I'm trying to work out whether he'll have enough...
In the lap chart next to the screen, for watching the cars, I only see 21 till 12.
Right, yeah, okay.
It's not a pit stop in that time, so it must have been quite a bit over that.
Okay. I think it's unlikely that he's going to make it to the end, so he'll probably have one more stop at least.
Probably, yes. As I also noticed, James is taking back fastest lap.
Yep, that has indeed happened. Arama coming up to a bit of traffic as Amuda has rejoined the circuit after that incident earlier. And I believe Sailor, also known as Ollie, previous usernames than that, is actually catching to Amuda as Groot is bailing for the pits, looking to perhaps get a bit of an undercut on their rival. They haven't picked up any mechanical damage. Actually, the tyres are quite fresh. So, this is interesting. They didn't have to come into the pits here, but they're choosing to. I would have thought they might have saved a bit of time by having a slipstream partner. But they're going to try and go for the clean air tactic. And the slightly fresher tyres. Because I think they're thinking that everyone's going to have to do a 3-stop minimum, that you might as well pit at the around the half distance marker.
Yeah, so you can maybe go for like 10 laps to do an 8 lap.
Yeah. So that's interesting strategy call from Guru. If that is the case, then that could work out quite well for them. I wonder if the Joe 2 guy's strategy, before he had that crash of his with the damage, was to pit laps 10, then 20, then 30. That would be a very Joe thing to do, the Witty Professor. As James into the pits, 1 lap before CJ. Good stop with the tyre change by the Arrows Racing team. Sponsored by Rain for this event. Will they be the reigning champions? Well, judging by the extra branding as well, I think it's an energy drink of some kind.
Yeah, no, it's like
or is it like a protein shake?
Energy drink.
Yeah, something like that. And they actually rejoin. They rejoin right with Ollie. Ollie looking to make a move. Can't quite get it done. Will James be able to get their tyres up to temperature in time? Ollie looking to the inside of 100R. Can't quite get it done. So James narrowly avoiding getting past, which would have slowed them down on their attempt to undercut CJ. Though that battling might have cost them a little bit of time. Yeah, what?
Oh no, I thought Groot also pitted. Did Groot pit? No, he didn't. Never mind. Sorry.
No, they must have. They must have because the tyres are extremely fresh. I just think they've only fueled up for the 10-lap stint. I think that's what they're doing here. They're going for the minimum fuel route that can take them a stint, and that way the car's lighter and therefore faster.
Oh, I was a bit confused. I was like, hold up, wait a minute.
Indeed, Nils confirming in chat. Rain is an energy drink, thank you. CJ continuing to stay out at the moment. He's got a fair bit of fuel, but he will have to pit in. Maybe he's thinking he can stretch this stint and make it on just one more. And that, I believe, would make it a 2-stop strategy for him if he's able to save enough fuel. I think he's only had 1 stop so far. He's got a little bit of traffic to negotiate at the moment with John wandering, who's in 8th at the moment. Watch the throttle inputs here as we go through this final sector, this tricky uphill section. Tricky enough in a Group 2 car. When you think of how slidey these super hybrids are as well, it's very demanding. Using every little bit of friction we can.
What is that thing in the front grille of the Lexus?
Hold on, what thing?
In the middle of the front grille on the underside.
Oh, I think that's a tow hook if it's red. Yeah, they tend to have tow hooks. There's one on the back as well that you might see there.
But I don't know what it's on. Make even an extra structure or something. I don't know.
If it is a camera, then we don't have access to it. Jack Wilkinson.
Come on, Jack Wilkinson.
James hasn't broken away from Ollie. Ollie's managed to gain a bit of time through the slipstream on that straight, but crucially hasn't passed James. Seems that James with that tyre advantage is able to get enough of a gap through the 2nd and 3rd sectors. Or the twisty sections at least. But, as it currently stands, it is Lexus first, Toyota second, Toyota third, Lexus 4th, as the Joe 2 guy is currently 4th. We'll still have one more pit stop to do. They're currently between both of the Golden Bear Motorsports Lexi. Catching them in a difficult spot, to say the least. If you want to be lapping cars, ideally you want to be doing it on the straight so you can take advantage of the slipstream. But through this final sort of section of corners especially, it's very difficult to follow a car.
Very true.
Well, Joe does have a bit of slipstream here, so it does pay off in the end. Will he be able to get past? Looks like the hazard lights are on for Amuda. But does it look like he's got a bit of a run? Yep. Amuda lets him go by. As Joe actually moves up into 3rd place as someone made a pit stop. That's Ollie who came into the pits. So they look like they might be trying to go to the end from here if they save a bit of fuel.
I don't know if that's completely possible. 50 laps? I don't know what the max is on these cars.
It'll be a stretch. Groot, meanwhile, has the fastest lap of the race now. 127.910.
Oh, that's very quick.
They're keeping the car quite lightweight with taking the minimum amount of fuel needed for a stint strategy. Seems to really be paying off in terms of that pace. CJ, race leader, does make their way into the pits for the Virtual Life Experience team. featuring Gran Turismo 7 decals and PlayStation 5 decals, even though we're still on PS4. But it's good advertising, I suppose. Great sound these cars make as well. Listen to that Lexus scream on exit of the pits. They rejoin just ahead of Joe, actually. So actually, James has managed to move up into first place.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, indeed.
Wow.
They're on half a fuel tank, and I really doubt that's going to be enough to last them to the end. But they are up into that first place again.
Is this deck gonna last CJ to the end?
I think CJ is pretty much set. If he's fueled maximum, so, and we've seen some of these guys go well over 10 laps, so I'd imagine so. And he does have Joe for company as well, if he needs to slot in for a bit of a slipstream. Although that's unlikely. I think Joe's just trying to stay in the slipstream himself, so he gains a bit of time back. But I think he's just outside of that 0.75 range, indeed. Using the overtake mode to catch up though, see if he can break into that slipstream gap, and indeed does so now! Really closing back up, won't be enough to challenge into the braking zone at TGR. Will he be able to stick with him through these final two sectors?
I don't know.
Okay, D-Look, I'll definitely check that out. Thanks again for your help with all that. All the media stuff for Nukeshot Motorsport and Paradox Sim Sport. I nearly said Paradox Auto Works, but I know they had a change with that.
Bruh.
It's not as bad as still saying Volex, okay? As opposed to Virtual Life Experience. So I'm not laughing at Volex, I'm laughing at Mika's reaction to it. It's funny for whatever reason, is Mika's reaction. Joe has managed to do a very good job sticking within the slipstream range, and as soon as I say that, he's lost it again. Sorry Joe, my commentary's really not been helping you out today.
It's all your fault, Reddish.
He's using the overtake mode again. I don't know if CJ is as well this time. Is he? Nope, CJ is not. He seems to be saving it for corner exits, perhaps. Gap between CJ and James, 6.4 seconds. I was certain it was a bit lower than that before. So James, I'm gonna compare lap times real quick. Last time it was a 1:28.6 for James, it was a 1:28.8 for CJ. So, indeed, James a little bit faster as well in this stage of the race, it would seem.
Is there any battling going on in the moment?
That's what I'm looking for.
This track. That's basically only CJ and Joe at the moment.
You and McGee is back. James about to cross the line to start lap 30 as we're getting towards the final quarter of the race. And look at the sparks being thrown up. And indeed, the gap now getting closer to 7 seconds. So I think Joe being as close as he is to CJ is somewhat slowing CJ down, because CJ has to drive to a certain pace in order to defend from Joe.
Very true, Rich.
That's why I say it.
Oh, Ollie's crashed!
Ollie's gone off. I just noticed that. I think it said momentarily that he was into the pits.
Yeah, that's when I clocked it.
He's picked up massive amounts of damage. Let's see what's happened.
No, Ollie, don't go back. Don't do that.
He was trying to go into the pits, and he was it him that did the 360 earlier? This time he did a 180. He's trying to carry far too much speed, and the game, of course, because he entered the pits in reverse, reset him. He didn't even need to go into the pits. If you look at his fuel and his tyre life, and I'm fairly certain that, yeah, he didn't even have any damage before entering the pits, so I have no idea what's gone on there.
He's left the race now.
That's extremely unfortunate for him. So that's our second retirement of the day as the Joe 2 guy goes into the pits on lap 30. What did I say? He'll fuel to the absolute minimum he can to the end. Groot into the pits as well from what was 4th place. That allows Arama up into 3rd at the moment. Joe exits the pits just behind Arama. What's that Houdini going through? Houdini's going into the pits for what will be their final stop.
Also into the pits now.
Well, Groot's on the exit. So Groot rejoins in 5th place. Houdini is going to be, I think, comfortably in 6th for now. They're just fueling up. That sort of half and half livery, very similar to Rebellion Racing in recent World Endurance Championship design. Similar-ish concept as well to the Virtual Life Experience livery. That's sort of half and half, although the way they've done it is with triangles.
Triangle.
Now then, the gap has gone back down between CJ and James, so I do think that Joe's presence was slowing down CJ a bit. Because now he's managed to get the hammer down.
Everyone Joe's presence slows down.
That'd be my excuse anyway. And again, the more powerful hybrid system of the Toyota coming into effect as they were gaining on the straight. Arama into the pits. This will be their final stop. Didn't see if they changed tyres or not. We'll find out as they exit the pits. Hope that they did. In fact, no, they've saved time by not taking a new set of tyres. And by doing that, they rejoin in 4th place ahead of Groot. And Groot, on the fresher tyres, it will be interesting to see if they'll be able to get past before the end of the race. So many different strategies working out here.
Wait, did he come into the pits only for fuel?
Yeah, he didn't take tyres, and the time that he saved managed to get him out ahead of Groot.
Interesting.
That might have just made a bit of a timing glitch, was it, on my screen momentarily? I moved us back ahead of John Wandering. Meanwhile, it looked like there was an overtake that happened at some stage. I'm not 100% sure. Is John Wandering okay? Yeah, John Wandering's alright. James into the pits. He did have to make an extra pit stop in the end. Couldn't make it on fuel. He's going to fuel to the minimum. How's CJ doing on fuel as they retake the lead of the race? Indeed, they're looking like they're saving enough fuel. Out of the pits goes James. Where's Joe? Where's Joe in all this? He's 5 seconds back. He's a fair bit back in comparison to James. And of course he did stop earlier, so Joe will be on slightly worse tyres. Those should be set to the end, I think. Is that everyone set to the end, Mika?
What? Sorry, couldn't understand you.
Is that everyone set to the end now? In terms of pit stops?
Except Amuda.
Okay, Amuda is looking like they will need another pit stop. Yep, at least for fuel. Car 54.
Nah, Joe's good, I think. Oh, James has gone off!
James has gone off from what we've heard. You sure you meant James and not Joe? Real estate?
James.
James, right, okay. You got those two figures a little bit on.
Right.
Okay, we'll see. Here it is on replay. It was through Dunlop corner. Carrying a bit too much speed. Yep. The rallycross route, it would seem, is the Toyota in particular, because you can't... Both of these cars have limited tuning capability, but the Toyota especially, the majority of things are on lock. So the stock setup does tend to correct slides itself quite a bit, and that seemed to catch James out on that occasion. It just seemed to snap the car the other way. And now the pressure begins to mount because he knows that the Joe 2 guy is only 3 seconds behind him. He doesn't have damage, and he's going to be charging towards the end of this race. As James actually picked up a corner cut penalty as well.
No.
It's all starting to unravel for James. It was a 1 second penalty for corner cutting somewhere. And he's gone up again! 1.7 seconds! Oh, he's cracked like an egg. Where's Mr. Wheezen when you need him?
Egg.
Where did he pick this one up? Was it... It must have been here. What happened? Oh, yep. It was a fair bit of a cut. Hold on.
Oh, his crew now is right up. Orama's back behind.
That's the battle between 4th and 5th. So that taking the tyres in the end does seem to have been paying off for Groot. They've managed to find the pace. Orama goes to one side trying to break the slipstream.
I think the smart thing is if Groot overtakes him, go in for tires. You can never take a risk. But we'll get very slippery at some point with too much tire wear.
It depends, because even if he doesn't take tyres still, I think there's no way that Houdini's going to catch him up at this stage. But Groot does indeed go through. Although you do mention it's much easier to make a mistake on one tyre. Amuda into the pits. They rejoin in 8th. Who's that actually just behind him? I think that's Houdini in 6th place, who runs a little bit deep onto the marbles but gathers it back up. The penalty is depleting for James, I think naturally. I think he is just getting rid of it naturally, which is fair enough. Runs a little bit wide through that final corner, Panasonic. I think my Razor's a Panasonic.
The what is Panasonic?
My Razor. I have an electric Razor.
Oh, Nelly.
The gap is down.
I just use no fishing. Chafing knife.
The gap is down to around 2.5 seconds. Seems that Joe is a little bit better on the brakes. Groot is starting to get away from Orama as well, thanks to the fresher tyres, so that strategy for Orama really hasn't paid off in the end. And Houdini pretty much by themselves, 24 seconds back from Orama. And only 7.5 seconds between John Wandering and Amuda. So any slip up between the two Golden Bear Motorsports drivers can make that battle go either way. James has just about finished the penalty kill. And there it goes.
It's good.
Hello to Olaf in the chat. That is Ollie from earlier. He said, yeah, he lost concentration, had too much speed going into the pits. Yeah, that seemed to definitely be the case. Unfortunate to see. Glad that you managed to get out of the car safely. Hope that nothing's broken.
Oh, Nelly. Did you really have to say that?
What? Just,
Never mind.
I'm checking on the well-being of our competitors, Mika. What have you ever done? Precisely.
Raced.
James, no! He's picked up another 1 second penalty somewhere.
Oh, James, what are you doing, eh?
Oh dear.
It's
happened
happened
again.
Professor M.
Shout out McLaren. He's gonna have to get back on the penalty kill again. He's got a few laps left to do it though. Groot still has the fastest lap of the race, the 1:27.910. They're currently in 4th place off the podium. How often is it the case, I wonder, that we've had the fastest lap taken by someone who isn't on the podium?
Not a lot.
James has got that penalty down to half a second. So we've got a little bit to go. Just got to stay consistent, firmly grasp it, James, as Patrick Starr once said. The gap is around 2 seconds. 2.1, as it seems the Toyotas seeming to be a little bit better at the moment through the corners. That might have something to do with tyre life. Yep, James has slightly better tyres as Joe had to pit earlier.
Can he still come home in second? We shall see after this commercial break.
Have you had an accident at work that wasn't your fault?
Yes, I have.
Well, it sucks to be you, as Joe actually gets a 0.5 second penalty. The plot thickens! And almost instantly he gets it down to a 0.2.
Get a new life.com.
Get a life, get Swift cover.
Are you addicted to gaming and don't have a life or a social life?
That's probably me.
Well, so I have the solution for you.
Go outside, you lazy peasant.
Exactly. Go outside, you lazy... Go find some friends, but stay inside now because of COVID-19.
Indeed. Speaking of which, the spectators here at Fuji Speedway don't seem to be obeying the COVID protocols.
It's gone over there.
Oh, is it? Oh, fair enough.
I don't know, I have no clue.
I don't check the national news for Japan, unfortunately. Well, Joe's nearly got rid of that penalty. And the gap has pretty much stayed at around that 2 second mark. It's 1.9. Just about 1.25 lap to go. Will it be enough? It seems that a little bit of a mistake through that section of corners. Joe has managed to gain nearly half a second through there.
Oh no, COVID's quite bad in Japan.
Yeah,
they hit 7,000 yesterday.
That's mad. I think in the UK, I think it's around 1,000 cases a day or something like that. I forget.
I don't know how much it is.
Well,
I think we should not say anything as well.
Yeah, of course. Back on topic, CJ on the final lap of the race Hasn't had it his whole way.
Netherlands 7,000.
CJ hasn't had it his whole way throughout this race. And he is looking quite comfortable now to take the final win of season 5.5. But the crucial thing here, will James be able to hold on to second place from the Joe 2 guy?
TJ coming up through the final corners.
One corner to go for the Mad Greek. Just has to not completely bottle it. And it seems he has not. It is going to be Crazy John taking the win of the Super Hybrid Showdown. Congratulations to them. The checkered flag is out. And across the line. And the battle for second place. It is going to be James holding on to second. Around 1.9 seconds in it in the end between them and the Joe 2 guy. Joe, a great recovery drive. Absolutely. Well, I don't know, great minds think alike, so do less great minds, I suppose, in our case.
Yeah.
So Joe does take the final step on the podium. I did say earlier that I thought his chances of the podium were gone, but never to discount him. And look at this again on the podium. Groot comes home in 4th place. Well done to them.
Yes, Rama comes across the line now to get P5.
Great result there for Arama. Trying something different with the strategy, didn't quite pay off in the end. Houdini will be the last car on the lead lap to cross the line, as both of the Golden Bear Motorsports cars come across with him closely behind. It will be Amuda taking 7th away from John Wadrin in 8th. And it was Groot with the fastest lap of the race.
Pretty mixed results for the Toyotas and for the Lexus.
You know what I also just noticed?
To Joe.
Congratulations to all 3 of our podium winners, and congratulations to everyone actually, to be fair, that was a great race. But one thing that I did notice, I think CJ was one of 2 people not to get a corner cut penalty the whole race.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that, you know, something you don't see every day? Unbelievable scenes. Once again, looking at the standings, these cars looking extremely evenly matched. It was Crazy John taking the win by 9.9 seconds from James in 2nd place. Joe 2 guy making up the final step of the podium, making it 2 Lexi and 1 Toyota. Groot in the Toyota themselves, finishing in 4th place, 26 seconds back. Arama in 5th place in the end, couldn't quite get the strategy to work on Groot, but fair play to them for trying something different. Nice to see them back on their return, of course. They were 5th place. Houdini in 6th place in the end, a minute and 1 seconds back from our race winner. Amuda, 1 lap down, they take 7th. Very close battle between them and John Wandering. John Wandering finishing in 8th. We have DNFs, of course, of Ollie Polly and Felix, which happened quite early on. Fastest lap went to Groot. It was a 1:27.910 that was set on lap 23. Mika, your thoughts after such an exciting chain of events that we've had here today for the Super Hybrid Showdown?
We should do more races with these kind of cars. Very underrated.
It's not even me saying this time. Actually, I'll pay you later. That's a joke. That's a joke. No, that's not happening. Sorry about that. Hello to John Wandering in the chat.
It's funny that Joe has to ask and CJ what the curb glitch is. Joe has to ask about the CJ glitch. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Scoot also said why he did a 360 into the pits. He just said skills.
Oh, it was Groot that did the first 360, right. I thought it might have been Sailor or Ollie doing it twice. But fair enough then. On my memory. I think they were both Toyotas. So, yeah. That's my excuse. That was very, very juicy indeed, and I hope that this can be used as an example going forward for potential future events featuring these cars, because we've seen some great action here today. The cars are a bit expensive, 1,000,000 credits each, but they do produce some fantastic racing.
We still do LMP cars. They're also 1,000,000.
Yep, indeed, that's a good comparison. They are both 1,000,000 credits each.
What is this currency called? Just credits?
I think it is just credits. Not to be confused with Republic credits that are no good here, because we need something more real.
Grown to risk coins.
Let's not say that ever again.
I'm gonna stick with that.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed all the broadcasting that we've been doing throughout Season 5.5. Unfortunately, that was the last one. Season 5.5 is officially over. We hope that we've entertained you guys.
It sounded like a clickbait title.
Is Season 5.5 over? Gone wrong? Or something like that. Oh dear. Unbelievable scenes. But yeah. It's worse that it keeps cutting out on occasion, but yeah, there it is. The sadness. The sad music. Oh dear. Put the soundboard away, man. Joe's original plan was a one-stop. Alright, lad.
That was never gonna work.
An interesting one, Chief.
What stuff you do?
Nukeshot Yoda has joined the chat. Nice having you along.
NS Yoda 46. No, it should be NS Yoda 5900 because man's old.
Almost as old as CJ. Great banter. Again, if you've enjoyed all the action here today, be sure to leave a like. We're currently on 8 likes, it seems, for this stream. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for that.
Doesn't count.
No, I actually haven't. Myself, alright. Shut up. I'm not even subscribed to myself on my many other accounts. That's another thing, actually. If you do want to be kept in touch with when we do come up with more content here on Nukeshot Media, the best way to do that is to subscribe to the channel and with the notification bell on. That way you will be notified as to when we are doing stuff again. So, again, from all of us here at Nukeshot Media, we hope you've enjoyed what has been a fantastic season of racing. I've certainly enjoyed it. Mika, I hope you have too. Thanks again, my friend, for joining me for at least half of the season, I think it was in the end. But, again, nice having you along when you was able to.